This is the servant of the Lord, Hyuk Park. And today I am here to deliver to you the prophetic word and prophetic message from the Lord for the new year 2026. For this brand new year 2026. And before going through that, I heard the news about Venezuela being attacked by the United States in a large scale with explosions, and President Maduro also being captured. It's actually something I already prophesied, which was around 2 years ago in July of the year 2024. You can check the proof of the date of that prophecy, which was spoken around 2 years ago through my YouTube channel, Brother Hyuk Espanol. When I prophesied on July 2024, it was even before Donald Trump was the president. Furthermore, it was even before Donald Trump was elected, because it was even before the election. And people who listened to the Lord speaking through me actually already knew what was going to happen and knew the thoughts of the Lord, and they are not surprised when they saw these things happening. So today I'm here to deliver a message for the year 2026, prophetic word and prophetic message from the Lord for the year 2026. So it's the same thing, so that you can know the thoughts of the Lord, and also so you can know how you should live this year 2026. So if you are the person who wants to know the thoughts of the Lord and know how to live this year 2026, and if you want to align your thoughts to the thoughts of the Lord, listen very carefully. Listen very carefully to this prophetic word for the year 2026, which is going to sustain you, help you, and guide you all throughout this year. The Lord told me that many people are waiting for me to declare the prophecy and prophetic word for the year 2026. And many people have been waiting, and they were still having a question mark in their heart. What kind of year is this 2026? What is this year called? And they were waiting for me to speak out and declare this year. Yes, here I am to declare to you, so that we can enter into this year, not physically, but spiritually. Yes, the time is already January 4th, and we are physically here in the new year. But the thing is that we have to enter spiritually. That is why I am here to declare the prophetic word for you, so that we can enter spiritually into this new year 2026. This year 2026 is the year of the west wind. Let me say it again. Regarding this year 2026, the Lord spoke to me, my servant, it is the year of the west wind. In the book of Exodus, it was a time full of difficulties and sufferings, which was the time where the people of Israel were under the slavery of Egypt, and also including the time of all the process of going through the judgments and plagues to finally be freed from the slavery and exit from Egypt, which is to finally be freed. It was full of difficulties and sufferings. The Lord's final plan was to free the people of Israel and make them exit Egypt with great possessions, as it was a prophecy given to Abraham in the book of Genesis chapter 15 verse 13 and 14. God said to Abraham, "Know that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs, where they will be enslaved and oppressed. But I will also judge the nation whom they will serve, and afterward they will come out with many possessions." But when finally the Lord was freeing the people of Israel, it was a time full of difficulties, obstacles, sufferings, and chaos. And the process of judgment towards Egypt and the King Pharaoh was a time of severe chaos, full of numerous plagues. Regardless of how severe chaos it was, the judgment had to take place due to the greater plan of God and for the sake of God's people. The sufferings and difficulties had purpose under the sovereignty of the Lord. The process of the judgment was difficult, a lot of difficulties, including numerous plagues and etc. There were numerous plagues. One of the plague that God sent was the uncountable locusts, which covered the surface of the whole land to the point that the land was darkened. And those locusts ate up everything on the land, a severe chaos. It was a very difficult time, but do you know what happened next? It is recorded in the book of Exodus chapter 10 verse 8 verse 19. It exactly says, "The west wind." God sends the west wind to remove the locusts. So to help you understand, after the massive amount, uncountable locusts were covering the whole land, causing chaos, the west wind came, which wiped the locusts away completely. And the Lord spoke to me that this year is the year of the west wind. Listen to me very carefully, everyone. I am not here to declare something that would make you happy. You have to listen to me carefully. The appearance of the west wind was due to the difficulties. So when I talk about this west wind, you have to know that I am talking about difficulties, because the appearance of the west wind was due to the difficulties. So there was difficulties, and then there was the west wind. And after the west wind, there comes another plague, another difficulties. So the west wind is impossible to talk without the difficulties. So this year is going to be a difficult year. There will be a lot of difficulties, such as war, battles, and rumors of wars. And I even see something will be beginning regarding currency, some kind of change beginning. Listen, there will be battles which can be called as a war. But the Lord said that it will not be a war that will end up everything, or it will not be a war that will be consuming everything like world war. The Lord said that it will be a limited battle. So people of God, know that it is a temporary thing with a limit. There will be a lot of rumors of wars also, which will give fear to you. A lot of rumors of wars making you to fear that it is like an end of everything. Fear not. It is not the end. Know that it is a temporary thing with a limit, because there will be a west wind coming. There will be the west winds coming at each moment, in every moment of difficulties. Just like the west wind that removed the plagues of locusts, that west wind will come, showing you that the difficulty was a limited temporary moment. But remember, when you experience that moment of ease due to the west wind, don't let your guard down. Prepare your heart instead, because that moment of ease is also a temporary ease, just as another plague of judgment came right after the west wind, which was the plague of darkness. But again, fear not, because God will take care of the ones who are the righteous ones. Just as God provided supernatural light only to the Israel people during the plague of darkness that came after the west wind. It was a tangible, very thick darkness that people couldn't do anything, not even to move away from their place a little bit. But during that time, there was a supernatural light only to the people of Israel. So there will be difficulties, and the west wind that removed the locusts, that west wind will come in every moment of difficulties, showing you that difficulty is just a temporary moment, and that west wind will give you ease. But also remember to not let your guard down. Prepare your heart, because that west wind is also a temporary moment of ease. Because after the west wind, just as a plague of darkness came, there will be another difficulties coming. So it will be a repetition of difficulties, but in every moment of difficulties, the west wind will come in each moment, telling you that those difficulties are just a temporary thing with a limit. And even though another difficulties come, fear not. Just as God provided supernatural light to take care of the Israel people during the difficulties, the Lord will take care of His righteous ones. So trust in the sovereignty of the Lord, who knows the highest plan and the highest purpose. Those difficulties are things that must pass for the greater plan of God. Just as the judgment through plagues was necessary for the greater plan of God, for the sake of God's people, which was for the God's people to be free with great possession. Everything is under the sovereignty of the Lord for the great purpose that sometimes you cannot understand due to the focus on pain and difficulties. The west wind will speak to you that the difficulty is temporary. And the west wind will speak to you that the sovereignty of the Lord is alive. So do not be moved by the internet, because internet will be speaking this and that, giving you fear. But who has heard my message will not be surprised when things happen, because God has already spoken and prophesied through my mouth. As an example, just as you see Venezuela being struck in a large scale with explosions of the important buildings and the president being captured, people who have heard me speaking around 2 years ago are not surprised with this recent events, because the prophecy was given ahead. They already know that things are happening under the sovereignty of the Lord. So here I am again, delivering the message of God, so that you will not be surprised or enter into fear when things happen. Therefore, do not be moved by internet, which gives you fear, because the internet will be speaking many things. And also the Lord spoke to me about the internet syndrome, and that it will be a severe issue in this year 2026. The Lord showed me different kinds of people. Some people with cancer, some people with irreversible disease, some people lost one part of their body. Even the Lord showed me the people entering to hospitals, and I saw also the people dead. And I saw some people permanently lost their hair, some people with skin problems, etc. And do you know the reason of these things that the Lord was showing to me? It was due to the trends in the internet, which is the internet syndrome that the Lord was speaking to me. They were following and imitating the trends in the internet, making videos, wanting to be viral, wanting views, wanting to be inside the trend, wanting to be in the center of everything, wanting fame. And those attempts were bringing after effects as time passed by. Some would see the negative consequences right now, but some will see nothing happening now, but severe after effects appearing as time or even years passes by. So do not be moved by the internet. And even in Christianity, people have been and will be more imitating to get fame and be viral, without knowing that the after effects are coming. What are the after effects? Which are your spirit getting sick and dead, spiritual sickness and spiritual death. That when you encounter the Lord, you will say, Lord, I did this and that in your name. But the Lord will say to you, I have never known you. Go away from me, you evildoers. Just as I said in the beginning of 2025, that there are already a lot of false teachers and false prophets in the internet, and there have been already a lot, but there will be so much more rising for 7 years beginning from the year 2025. Something is also connected to that, which is what I'm speaking today about the west wind. Do not be moved by the internet. So going back to the west wind, yes, you will see a lot of notices and news and alerts on the internet that might cause you fear. But do not be surprised nor be moved by those things, because you have heard my message ahead of those things. Yes, you will hear of wars and rumors of wars, and one nation will rise against another, and kingdom against kingdom, and president against another. There are signs that must be fulfilled, but do not be troubled, for it is necessary that all these things happen. Everything is under the sovereignty of the Lord. And though all the difficulties, God will send the west wind that eases you for a while. Knowing that there will be a west wind is knowing that there will be a difficulties, because a west wind is sent after a difficulty to ease the moment. Fear not, because west wind will come and tell you that it is a temporary, limited difficulty. It is not the end of the world. Fear not. The west wind will come and remind you that the sovereignty of the Lord is alive. God is working on the greater plan that you might not understand. But I am telling you, as a servant of the Lord spoke to me that many people will think and will speak about extended rumors of wars and battles. Oh, this war will be the end of the world, will be the world war, and we are finished, and it will consume everything, and now we are done. But no, the Lord said that it's a temporary moment with limits, and it will not finish everything. It's not the end of the world, and it's not the world war, because the Lord said this year is the year of the west wind. Now let me move to another topic. The Lord told me that beginning from 2026, the Lord is going to begin accomplishing the prophecies that were given a long time ago, which the Lord spoke to me, the exact ages of the prophecies. Listen to me. I'm not talking about any prophecies. The Lord spoke to me the specific ages of the prophecies that the Lord is going to start beginning to accomplish by this year 2026. Listen. Prophecies given 100 years ago, prophecies given 20 years ago, prophecies given 10 years ago, prophecies given 5 years ago, prophecies given 3 years ago, prophecies given 1 year ago. 100 years, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 1 year. And most of the prophecies are the prophecies that were given by a prophet but died without seeing the prophecy coming to pass, because it was given a long time ago, especially the 100 years old prophecy. Just as Abraham, who was the one initially receiving the prophecy from the Lord about the Lord freeing the people of Israel with great possession. But Abraham died without seeing the prophecy come to pass. And even many generations of Israelites who were living under the slavery of Egypt died without seeing, because they were enslaved in Egypt for a long time, which were 430 years, which was a very long period of time. There was a prophecy and promise for the freedom with great possession, but the slavery time was 430 years. So those kinds of old prophecies which were given, but even the one gave died, and even the one listened died. The Lord told me the exact number of years: 100 years old prophecies, 20 years old prophecies, 10 years old prophecies, 5 years old prophecies, 3 years old prophecies, and 1 year old prophecy. Beginning from this year 2026, you will see these prophecies beginning to be accomplished one step by another step. So it will be a process of accomplishment. And these beginnings of the accomplishments of the prophecies will also serve as the west winds in the difficult times. Because when you see these prophecies being accomplished, you will be comforted and eased. And also you will be able to see that the Lord is still working and the sovereignty of the Lord is still alive. So these accomplishments of prophecies will also serve as the west wind to you in the difficult times of the year 2026. Do you know why these old prophecies will be beginning to be accomplished from this year 2026? The Lord showed me and spoke to me that there will be a change of the cycle in the spiritual realm, and this will be causing those prophecies to be accomplished. Let me dive deeper into this. The Lord will be also sending a powerful west wind in this year 2026 in the spiritual realm. And this west wind will cause the change of the cycle in the spiritual realm. It will cause the new cycle to begin in the spiritual realm. And the beginning of this new cycle in the spiritual realm will be causing the acceleration of the time for the sake of the righteous ones. The Lord is causing the acceleration of time for the sake of the righteous ones. Listen, because of this new cycle, these difficulties that I was sharing will be happening, because the difficulties that you will see in 2026 will be happening because the Lord is trying to speed up things, the acceleration of time. For now it looks it's painful. For now it's difficult, but under the sovereignty of the Lord is doing things for the sake of the righteous ones. Just as those difficulties must have been accomplished and passed to see the freedom of the Israelites with great possession. For the sake of the righteous ones today, the Lord will send the west wind also in the spiritual realm, a powerful west wind that causes the change of the cycle in the spiritual realm to become a new cycle. And this new cycle will cause the acceleration of time. And due to this speeding up, and due to this acceleration of time, the difficulties will be happening this year for the sake of the righteous ones. And also these prophecies that were 100 years old, 20 years old, 10 years old, and 5 years old, and 3 years old, and 1 year old will be starting to become accomplished without more delay, because of this new cycle, which is the acceleration of time. And it is all for the sake of the righteous ones. So it will be a difficult time this year. But remember, everything is under the sovereignty of the Lord. And it is for the sake of the righteous ones. And there is a greater plan that you might not know by just seeing the pains of today. This year, 2026, is a year of the west wind. Difficulties, wars, battles, rumors of wars, and fear. But fear not. The west wind will tell you that it is a temporary moment. But fear not. The west wind will remind you the sovereignty of the Lord. But fear not. The west wind is coming.